Hi, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel and welcome to day 74 of the 100-day project. Now, I think that this is sort of the ultimate in play, and I hope that it's something that you can try at home with whatever supplies you have on hand. Now, I think everyone has access to brown paper. This is a brown paper bag, and like many things in life today, it is getting thinner and flimsier than ever before, but it will work. I also have paper like this. I don't know where it came from, but it is a slightly different color and it is a little heavier in weight. Now, when I was doing my prototypes, there's also this packing paper that I know that a lot of people have access to who order from Amazon often. So let me show you what I did. And I will, because it's, well, not such an involved process, but messy and takes some time and all of that, I'll be talking about the result rather than showing you the process. So this is an open paper bag. Of course, I cut the gusset off the bottom. You can see the little serrated edge and the little thumb hole there. So you're thinking, well, that's not very attractive. And I guess in my defense, it's a matter of taste, and it was the first time trying it, and I can't find my pipettes, and how many more excuses could I actually come up with? Didn't know what I was doing. But let me explain the process. So I started by opening up the bag, taking it to the kitchen sink and soaking it, just under the running water. So got it thoroughly wet, squeezed it out, brought it back to the studio. And I'm protecting my surface with my old plastic tablecloth. So basically what I did then, because a long time ago, I bought a lot of artist's acrylic ink. And this, who makes this stuff anyway? Water resistant, non-clogging. I don't know. It says FW, so I guess that's the brand name. So I have it in many colors. And I have, well, these are all the colors I have. And these are all I have with the dropper tops. So luckily it doesn't spoil. I just had to give them a good shake, and I thought, well, I love purple, and this one is just called purple. And this says flame red, so I thought, it's almost an homage to those red hat ladies who are wearing purple and red all the time. I thought, well, wouldn't that be a great way to start? So essentially, when the paper is still wet, I just randomly dropped color all over it. I then did a similar process with the red. And then I scrunched it. So I gathered up the damp paper, scrunched it. And you can see there's the purple, there's the red. And then I thought, maybe it needs a little lightening up. So I used white pearl because, a little bit of shine never hurts. But because, as you can see, there's no dropper bottle here, no dropper top, I just used an old chopstick, shook this up, dipped it in there, and sort of flicked the paint onto there. Well, it didn't really spread worth a darn. Oh, and by the way, I was wearing gloves because, of course, ink stains pretty badly. So then I started just trying to, with my fingertip, spread the white pearl around. And then that didn't, scrunch and scrunch and scrunch. Then I thought, well, gee, maybe it needs a bit of drama. So then I added black. And that's what I ended up with. Now, this, of course, is now dry. I kind of just, it doesn't take that long because, again, the paper is so thin. I guess a person could pick which side they like better. Now, the iridescent, like the pearlescent one, didn't really come through on this. It's probably, well, it didn't come through the paper. It maybe just transferred a bit when I was scrunching. But I think that this is a technique worth playing around with, because I suspect that the results a person gets is going to depend basically on how the ink is dropped on there in the first place. But that's, we never throw anything away. So this can definitely be collage fodder. And I don't know, I'll just angle it a bit and take it from side to side. I don't know how much of the texture you can see, but the texture alone is sort of great. So, you know, imagine this torn up and used in smaller doses, and I think it would be fine. I think if I was doing this again, I would just stick with the red and the purple, to be honest. Now, I do have a pearlescent, well, this one is called Moon Violet. Oh, is this the one and only that's dried up? Uh-oh. Obviously having pipettes, and I do, but who knows where, would have made the distribution of some of this color better. So that was try number one. So then I thought, well, and this is the same sort of bag, but I must have been either very whatever. I managed to tear it even before I started doing anything. But I thought, well, so what? It's going to be collage fodder anyway. So this one is indigo and imitation gold. Oh, I didn't realize that on here they say, opaque, transparent. So I thought that this was pretty nice. Now, we know that blue and yellow make green, so the patches that look a little bit greener is where the two colors intersected. So this was definitely a better result. And then, just for fun, I gave it an extra shot of gold, just after the fact, because I thought, well, never have too much gold. So, more pleased with this one. And again, it feels lovely. It feels like leather, to be honest. So again, I'll just kind of hold it so you can maybe catch the glimmer of the gold. So, you know, obviously something like that would be great in a sort of a grungy type project. Now, I really wish I knew where my pipettes were, because this is an old bottle of ink like for a dip pen, and it's turquoise. And I've used this for paper dyeing, and it is a gorgeous color. But again, without a pipette, it has to wait till the next time. So then I pre-tore some of this paper that I showed you earlier, and I thought, let's keep experimenting here. So as I was looking for my pipettes, I, of course, came across my Caran crayons. I think I have a set of maybe 12 or so. These things are rather pricey, but of course I don't buy them unless they're on sale. And you can see how very little of them I've used. Oh, maybe there are more than 12. Anyway, they are from France. Let me pick an easier one to read. Yeah, France. You can tell by the name. So it's Neo Color 2 Aquarelle. Now, we know from the Stabilo All Pencil, Aquarelle, that means that it's going to be water soluble. Water soluble wax pastel. Oh, I'm still finding more of these. And these three. So, and look at the gorgeous colors. Oh, that's not that's just a wax crayon. I think that was for doing some resist at one point. I don't know. Anyway, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Well, 21 sounds like a weird number. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's what I have. So I tried to pre-select a few colors that I thought would be okay on brown, because of course, with, that's not it, with brown paper, you know that you're not starting out with a pure white background, so colors are not going to stay true. So what I picked was, or I should tell you in the order in which I put them down. So I used this one first. It's a bronze metallic. Then I did brown, it's just brown. And this one is called turquoise blue. So basically what I did, oh, first of all, and this was dry, and I wrote some notes to myself there, dry and scrunched into a ball to make, to obviously get some texture. So then what I did was I basically laid down, just holding the crayon sideways, just laid down some color. You know, tried to pick something maybe a little bit interesting in terms of, you know, how the color was spread on the paper. Then use some brown, and then finally use the turquoise last. Now, in case you're thinking, oh, it looks like, you know, somebody with a split personality did this, you are partially correct. I used sort of a page, well, one of my glue pages actually, to protect this half of the paper, and then I misted this half, just with one of these little mini misters. So, and then I thought, okay, it didn't really, on its own, it didn't really move. So I worked it a bit, no, not with that brush. On this one, I used this. Now, this is too small. I should have picked a bigger brush, but this is what was within reach. So then, because this was done on dry paper, I didn't need any drying time. But then I thought, okay, I've got a million of these sort of gel pens. Why don't I see if I can add some detail? And I don't know how much of this you can see, but the way this paper, the design that the crumpling created is almost like either a cobblestone look or an alligator hide. So basically, I just started going around some of the shapes, and I really hope you can see it. I've done it here, and then using this one, I did it on the blue as well. I didn't do it on, well, there's a little one I tried there on the side that had been wet. Now, just for the heck of it, in this teeny weeny corner, because look how daring I am, I thought, well, what's a Sharpie going to do? What's a black Sharpie going to do? What is a, oh, I don't have that in front of me, just an El Cheapo sort of felt pen in orange. What would that do? So I think that there are only as many limitations to this technique as there are to our imagination, because a person could certainly keep on layering more color, could obviously add more detail. Now these pens are fairly fine. So if a person wanted a bolder line, well, no, that's a thin one too. Oh, let me tell you what else I did. I have it here somewhere. No, not that. Oh, there it is. So at Dollar Tree, yeah, I think it's Dollar Tree, every so often I'd see these pens. You know, this one says, oh, maybe I didn't get this there because it says for, well, who knows. Anyway, this one says metallic marker and it's silver. This one says chalk writer, craft decor, and it is called, I don't know what it's, wet, erasable, mess, and dust free. So it has a fairly blunt end, kind of like a lipstick almost. And someplace here, can't remember where exactly anymore, I just kind of went in and did some coloring. So a person could enhance, oh, see, that is giving nicer detail there. Now, how does it look on this side that has, oh, you know what, I'm doing that over the brown. Maybe that's why it's showing up that way. But you can see, you can enrich it and keep on layering. And I think that going in different directions probably helps as well. And it, you know, oh, here I am going over the whole thing. It doesn't hurt one little bit that I kind of like that coppery look. And we know that it looks really good with blue. So it's not moving the gel pen highlights I did. It's just adding another bit of depth to it. So another affordable thing to consider. Oh, and I did want to say that, you know, this is artist quality. This stuff is not cheap. And now it'll last. It'll probably last the rest of my life at the rate I'm using it. But I couldn't find my wax crayons to do another sample sheet with just, you know, a kid's Crayola set. Now, the difference that I suspect will happen is that they will not be water soluble. So there will be no point in wetting it because it's not going to move. But, I mean, I really think that's cool. And, you know, does it become a signature page? Does it become part of a collage? Again, it's paper and it's coloring. And let me show you the final thing. Another thing that I bought, kind of very timidly, were these Ranger Distress crayons. Now, of course, I don't know if you can buy them singly or not, but this was a sampler, sort of, a 3-pack. I think they come in 4s and maybe 8s, or I think 8 is probably the maximum. Anyway, so of course I really hadn't used it to speak of. So let's just see what it says. Distress crayons are formulated to achieve vibrant coloring effects on porous surfaces for mixed media. The smooth water-reactive pigments are ideal for creating brilliant backgrounds, watercoloring, and more. Color directly onto the surface and blend with water. Layer with distressed inks or stains for more possibilities. Coordinates with distressed palette of products. So, again, same split personality here. Dry paper, scrunched to get these peaks and valleys here. So let me show you what these look like. I used this one first, and I realized that this bottom part is to, you know, crank it up like you would a lipstick. Like so. Anyway, so again, I basically went over the entire surface in places. So let me just kind of show you. you know, kind of trying to distribute the color, you know, fairly throughout the whole thing. Then I used this one. No, are there colors on here? Well, I guess, salvage patina. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Prize ribbon and kitsch flamingo. As it turns out, I don't have any ink in these colors. But I knew that when I saw the other 3-pack, sort of the earth tones, they kind of looked so blah to me. And then, of course, I added the pink. So same scenario, you know, just kind of using this side of the crayon. So, again, protecting one half of the sheet, I wet this side with the little mini mister. And it, too, really wasn't doing anything. So then I kind of started spreading some of the color with my bristle brush. And you can see that this is sort of what started happening here. And then I thought, oh, well, that's all I did on this one. I didn't use this brush at all on this one. I think it might have, well, why don't I just wet it and see? It might have been, I think it might be a little too wimpy a brush to really do anything. You know, it kind of needs something with a little more, a few more bristles. But the nice part, we know that if we mix blue and pink, we're going to get purple. So in places without having done anything other than overlap some color, I ended up with shades of purple there. Now, this side that I wet, and of course it wasn't much water, so it's totally dried, feels good. This side feels a bit, I don't know, sticky or not, well, I don't know. I don't know what the word is. I feel like it might rub off. In fact, let's just try that. Here's a piece of paper. If it was rubbing against, oh yes, it would lift and transfer color. So then I picked a clean brush like this, these makeup blending brushes, and I thought, I wonder what would happen. I haven't done this yet. Oh, see, by blending, even with a dry brush, it just probably moves that pigment. Well, it removes some of it, but it also drives it deeper into the paper, and it doesn't feel like it would transfer and maybe wreck something adjacent to it. Now, of course, you can see I'm using the same brush for the whole thing. So, obviously the brush is getting, you know, to be a purist of some kind, I guess a person should probably use different brushes. But this will, I think by using this, it will unify the color. Do the touch test. And you can kind of feel where you might have to go back in. So let's try another area here and see if, so there's virtually no color transfer, you know, the second time. So I think that is kind of good to know. And I think that now that I've done this, I won't be as afraid to pull these out and actually use them. Because again, none of this stuff is cheap. It's bought and paid for, so it makes sense to use it. And again, isn't that lovely? Now, if a person could find, well, it's easy enough. I think that if I wanted a white background, as opposed to the craft color, then a person could obviously take apart a big white envelope or a white paper bag and begin with a white background as opposed to craft. So I'm going to stop here because that's all I got. But I suspect that there might be more. Well, I'll see. There might be a part 2 to this. Let's just say that. Not for sure, but thinking it might need that. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you dig up your old art supplies or new art supplies and give this a whirl. We know that brown paper is all around us, and it is fun just to get back to our coloring roots, to, kindergarten days, especially when we don't have a predetermined outcome. We live and love with the results we get. So I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe, and I would certainly appreciate it if you would comment and give me a thumbs up, because that all matters in the world of YouTube. See you guys again tomorrow. Bye.